My name is Julie Morgan. I'm a second-year student at the University of Miami, and I'm currently enrolled in the Health and Elder Law Clinic. I like the clinic because it's a mix of all kinds of elements. It's got professionalism, it's got the learning component, classroom component, it's got the skills component, the actually going out there and interacting with people and getting to use your legal skills in the real world situation. So that's why I like it, because it is a mix of all of them. You're not just learning one thing at a time, you're getting to use them all together. And that combination is what real learning is like, not individual academics, one subject at a time. So I like that combination, and you do get a good learning environment. In an academic setting, a traditional classroom setting, you learn by watching. The professor, you know, you have a case book, you read you read it, you come in, you discuss the cases, and that's how you learn it. But in the real world, it's not like that. You learn by doing, and it's kind of like tennis, because you're not going to learn tennis by reading a book about it or by watching people on TV play tennis. You're going to learn it by doing it, by practicing your skills, and that's how you're going to learn the sport. And it's the same way with lawyering. You're not going to learn by just sitting there and reading cases after case. You're going to learn it by actually applying the skills to real life clients, and that's how you learn. The clinic is more than just a clinic. It has an extra bonus to it, because you're not just in a clinical setting where you're doing intakes and helping people with their, you know, filling out their public benefit forms. You're also learning, we have a class component. You're going to class, you're learning about the individual types of law that we deal with. And so there's that component of it. There's the traditional Socratic method. We have a book too. We ask questions, we go over all that same, but we spend less time focusing on that and more time applying it to our clients and asking how we can utilize the law and the academic component to further our clients' needs. And I think that's the difference. It's like academic with a purpose. So it's not just learning, you know, going in there and reading a case, you're actually applying it to something else. So it has a purpose and there's something extra to it. You know, when you're in an academic setting and you're taking a class, it's kind of hard to really just memorize the material and believe that it has some kind of purpose, and you're just memorizing and regurgitating, and you don't really care what the differences are between, you know, say first and second degree murder. It doesn't really matter to you. But when you have a client and you're in a real life scenario, and it really does matter the differences between, you know, meeting a certain statute, section A or section B, because it makes a difference for your client whether or not they're going to get something or they're not going to get something. It can make or break you, but in an academic setting, it doesn't matter. And I think that helps you to absorb the material more, and you actually learn it because it's serving a purpose and it's making a difference, and that helps you retain the information rather than just memorize it to regurgitate it out for an exam.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a recent graduate of Miami Law and a former student of the clinic. The interdisciplinary aspect of the clinic in having to deal with more than just one area of law at a time to assist the client is very, very practical. When you get out into the real world, you don't want to tell someone, okay, I can help you with this one specific issue. A lot of the time, there will be several things that are all connected to help them, and you want to be able to do that. So this clinic gives you that experience. I helped people with immigration issues, public benefits, and several different areas, all dealing with the same problem and the same person. So it was great to have that interdisciplinary approach while I was in the clinic. In the real world, when you're interviewing for jobs and employers want to know what it is that you bring to the table, having actual practical experience while you're in law school is like an amazing hands up over other people. There are people who did well in their classes, and it's great to know that you're smart. But, you know, can you take that book knowledge and actually put practical use to it? And being part of a clinic really shows that you can. I think that the sooner the better for clinical experience. If the entire law school curriculum was made up of several clinics that you take, I think that it would actually be a benefit to the field, because a lot of times, especially now with the trouble in the market, people want students who are coming out with experience, who can do the job as soon as they're hired. And so any sort of practice that you can have during law school is a key to your success in the future.
My name is Ashley DeWaldy. I am a current law student at the University of Miami School of Law. I was an intern for the Health and Elder Law Clinic my 2L year in the spring semester, and then I came back on my 3L year as a fellow. The interdisciplinary portion of the clinic has really opened my eyes to different professions, mainly social work, social workers, doctors, other lawyers, and just immigration officers, Social Security employees, which I had never had to deal with in the past. And it just has taught me respect for social workers, respect for doctors that I never understood precisely what they had to go through on a day-to-day basis, and how much their view of patients and our view of clients, and how it all intertwines, and how we are all able to come together and advocate for the client so that they have the best outcome possible. What I've gotten out of this course has been that I honestly, to be completely candid, had a very bumpy start off in law school, and the clinic truly rejuvenated my faith in my legal education. I was able to not only have the attention of my supervising attorneys, giving me guidance and telling me what I was doing wrong and maybe what I needed to improve on, but I was also able to gain confidence and learn that I, had the ability to be a good lawyer and had the ability to learn these skills. And I was honestly scared at the beginning because I had heard of all the hard work that it entailed, and I thought it might want to dissuade me from being a lawyer, but it's done the complete opposite. I've realized that this is my calling and that I enjoy solving problems for people and that I enjoy building relationship with clients.
My name's Kayla Leland. I took the clinic as a 2L, so 2 semesters in a row, and I greatly enjoyed the clinic, my time there. So when I worked in the clinic, I worked out of just pure coincidence at a Little Haiti. I got one client that I couldn't contact because they didn't have cell phones, they didn't live at the same address. So I found that persistence was the only way to get in touch with this person, so I went to Little Haiti by myself, knocked on people's doors until I found another person who spoke English, and found my client. And then I ended up getting all of the Haitian clients because everyone thought I was so brilliant at finding people in Little Haiti. So for me, I found that these little skills that I learned, just persistence and just doing what you need to do to get the job done, and I'm sure those will translate into my real work outside the clinic. I definitely think the clinic gave me the confidence in the sense that I'm not afraid to just go out and do what I need to do, as opposed to before, where before law school, dealt with clients that had cell phones and had a means to contact you back and meet deadlines. And now I realize that my confidence has to be on my ability to manage deadlines and not my ability to rely on other people to meet deadlines. So if I have something that's due, I need to make sure I can either go out to the client and get it signed, or that I'm on top of the client and I'm not relying on that person to internally meet the deadline. I would say probably the most important thing that I got from the clinic was just being able to do what I came to law school to do, and that is to actually be a lawyer instead of sitting in a class talking about how bad other lawyers were in cases or what mistakes they made. Just being able to get out there and help people, but also get the experience. So it was almost like I was getting free experience and they were getting free help, and it was just everyone was benefiting. And I'll be a better lawyer and they'll be in a better position. So for me, it was just a no-brainer in the sense it was like a win-win on both sides. And that was definitely the thing I got best out of the client.